Okay, good day for all students, and we will start our lessons by PowerPoint. Please concentrate to explain. I will explain what are viruses. What are viruses? Before we start, we'll make a quick revision from the previous lessons. We have talked about the protists, and we said protists are unicellular or multicellular organisms that take their own food or eat other organisms. And the protist kingdoms contains unicellular organisms like the bacteria and archaea. And we have talked about how do you tell these tiny organisms far away? How do you keep yourself? You have to know protists are much larger than bacteria, and there's a generous number, maybe 100, 1000 of bacteria cells might fit into a typical protist. So most protists are microscopes. An amoeba, for example, need a microscope. And now, the cell of protist have a central nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. Here must be to distinguish between plant and fungi and protists have simple body structures and lack specialized tissue. And here it's unlike animals. In this point, it's unlike animals. Unlike animals. On other hand, a typical protist include algae, amoeba, and slime molds. Algae, amoeba, and slime mold. There are plant-like, animal-like, and fungus-like. The protist algae are similar to plants. How this means? Have a chlorophyll. Make their own food by itself. So other amoeba, similar to animals. Number one, move from place to place. Obtain food by eating other organisms. Fungus-like protists, such as slime mold, break down dead organisms. To obtain food. Now, our lesson, we will start what are viruses. Now we will start. What are viruses? Viruses bridge a gap between living and non-living things. It's a bridge between living and non-living things. So that may seem alive. But a part of scientists believe that viruses are not living organisms. They didn't consider viruses and organisms. Now, how can we classify all viruses? Viruses not classified in any of the 6 kingdoms. The reason is they don't carry out all of the basic life processes. We know the basic life processes, for example, use of energy, getting rid of waste, response to the environment, the process of growth, use energy, getting rid of waste, response to the environment. It can have only has one reproduction. reproduction only. It's so small, we need a microscope to study them. We need a microscope to study them. Now, there's a common cold. It's caused by virus. Some viruses are not harmful, and the other is useful. Sometimes enter our body of living things and take some of its cells and cause to it get sick. There's many dishes because the virus. Now we are gonna to mention some of serious dishes. Chickenpox, polio, HIV/AIDS, sneezing and coughing, sent cold viruses from one person to other person. What is do? When the virus enter to the cell, what is do? It attach itself to a cell. When a virus enters cells, when the virus enters cell, it attaches itself to a cell and it takes a control of cells for all activities. Control a cell for all activities. It instructs the cell, give the instruction for the cell to produce more viruses. He gave the instruction for the cell to produce more viruses. Now, over time, the cells becomes filled with virus particles. Filled with virus particles. And it's burst open. Give birth open, then the released viruses can invade other cells. Concentrate here. Can invade other cells, causing infection and disease. Now, let's see a video. We can repeat what are viruses. Viruses are tiny particles that enter the body, enter the cell here. All living things take over some of its cells and cause the organism to get sick. Now let's watch a video. Help us to understanding the lessons.
In this video, we're going to look at what viruses are. Viruses are a type of microorganism. They are too small to be seen by the naked eye, much smaller than bacteria, and about 100 times smaller than human cells. They come in many different shapes and are present wherever there are cells to infect. In fact, viruses are the most common biological unit on Earth, outnumbering all other types combined. Viruses can infect humans, all animals, plants, and even bacteria. Viruses are very simple. They are made up of a protein coat surrounding a strand of genetic material. The genetic material can either be DNA or RNA. Sometimes a membrane called an envelope surrounds a virus particle. This envelope isn't made by the virus, but is actually stolen from the membrane of the host cell. This is a great strategy by the virus. It makes it harder for the host cell to identify the virus as foreign. As we just saw, viruses aren't made up of cells. In fact, they aren't really living. They are halfway between a living organism and a chemical. Because they aren't living, we say there are different types of virus rather than saying different species of virus. Some common types of viruses are influenza and HIV or AIDS. So if viruses aren't living, how do they cause illness? Viruses are parasites. They can only reproduce in other living cells. They enter a host cell and hijack the host's genetic machinery. They make copies of their own viral genetic material instead and produce lots more virus particles. After lots of virus particles have been made, the host cell dies and the viral particles are released to infect more cells. The released viral particles can also spread to other people. there are actually two different ways in which virus attacks the host cell, which we'll look at in more detail in this video. Viruses cause many human diseases, including colds, influenza, rabies, yellow fever, HIV or AIDS, pneumonia, bird flu, Zika, Ebola, and the cancer-causing HPV. They are just a few examples. Fortunately, the human immune system is very good at dealing with viral invaders. Sometimes our immune system will recognize the virus as an intruder and will destroy the virus before it gains entry into a cell. Even after infection begins, our immune system destroys the virus and the person recovers. Sometimes the immune system cannot destroy the virus fast enough, and the virus can cause permanent damage or death. In 1918, the Spanish flu is thought to have caused up to 50 million deaths worldwide. Scientists have developed vaccinations against lots of viruses, which have even led to the eradication of some viruses like smallpox, as human hosts become immune. However, some viruses like HIV have proved impossible to develop any kind of vaccine for. Did you know that antibiotics do not work for viruses? They are only for bacterial infections. If you have a cold or flu, you shouldn't be taking antibiotics. They won't make any difference. There are some antiviral drugs that have been developed, such as the one that dramatically prolongs the life of people affected by HIV. So there we have viruses. They're incredibly simple organisms, but are extremely effective at causing infection.
If you liked the video, give it.
Okay. Now turn to page 42. Page 42. You can put a highlight. Page 42. What are viruses? Viruses are bridge between living and non-living things. Yes, put the highlight, page 40. Omar Wahbe. Omar Wahbe.
Yes, Mr.
Yes.
Yes, Mr.
Do you have any questions?
Yes.
All things good
Sir.
now? Yes.
Can you tell me the difference from bacteria and the protist or virus?
Okay, we mentioned that before a little. Okay, now I will tell you, but before that you put a highlight now, and when we finish I will differ between virus and bacteria. Don't worry. Now we have finished. Finished from page 42.
Yes.
Okay. For the homework, all students did the homework. Page 8, 8, 9, 8, 9, 10. 8, 9, 10, we finished page 8, 9, 10. And I will show you page 8, 9, 10.
We have a homework?
No, we finished, but if you any questions, we finished page 8, 9, 10. Now you have finished from highlight.
Yes.
All students put highlight, okay. Page 42. Now we'll back to page 40. If you finish page 42, but I will answer. Quick check. Page 42. You can write the answer. Number 1. Explain why viruses are not classified into any of the 6 kingdoms. Why? Why are not classified into any of the 6 kingdoms? The answer is so easy. They cannot perform all the basic life processes of growth. This answer your questions. Omar, answer your questions. Virus cannot classify because they cannot perform all the basic life processes of growth. For example, use of energy.
Can you say that?
Getting rid of waste. The virus can't. The virus can't do this object. Use of energy. Getting rid of waste and response to the environment. The virus only has one property. It's called reproduction. The virus, not organisms, will enter our body, convert to organism, and force the cell to copy many copy from it. Now you can, I will repeat the answer. I will repeat the answer.
Yes.
You can write, they cannot perform all the basic life processes. All
They
the
cannot
basic
what?
life processes of growth. Answer number one, quick check.
They
They
cannot
cannot perform all the basic life processes.
The basic life?
Yeah. Processes
Yes.
of growth.
Of
Growth. Yes.
Growth.
Use of energy. Use of energy.
Use
Of energy. Getting rid of waste.
getting
Rid
what?
rid of waste.
Getting right.
Yeah. Rid of waste. And response to the environment. Dot. They can
Yes.
only carry out reproduction. Yes. The second questions. Now, when could an infected person cause someone else to get sick? The answer now, you can write the answer for critical thinking. Right? A person may become sick. A person may become
Teacher, why you unmute me?
sick when they
Sneezing and coughing.
don't talk in permission, my sons. Raise your hand before your questions.
You unmuted us, mister.
Unmuted us.
Okay. Now, a person may become sick when they come in contact with someone who is infected. I will repeat. A person may become sick when they come in contact with someone who is infected. I will repeat. A person may become sick when they come in contact with someone who is Infected. Ahmed Sayed. Ahmed Sayed.
Yes.
Everything good? Okay, what about the homework? Page 10. Have you finished page 10?
Yes.
Open your workbook, page 10. Page 10. All students did the homework. We answered the homework. If you have any questions, about this page, Muhammad Muaz.
Yes, mister, I wanted to ask, can you show me all of the page because I don't have the big book, so I can't do the homework. The one you show, I can only do that one.
Okay, back to the recording on the platform. I upload all recording on the platform. You can back to the recording. Yeah?
No.
But you have to get a book. And the workbook.
No, I attended every class of you, so I don't need, but I didn't do a page number. I will show you.
Okay, but you have to do the homework, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Ahmed Sayed. Okay, now I will Muhammad Nizal. Muhammad.
Yes, sure.
Everything good? Okay, now I will show you a video. Video help us to understand the material. What are viruses? We watch this video. Kingdom of Protists, you can...
Welcome to Moo Moo Math and Science. In this video, I'd like to talk about the Kingdom Protista. Kingdom Protista is a very interesting kingdom of life. You may have heard that Kingdom Protista is like the junk drawer in your house. You know, the drawer that has a little bit of everything in it. Let me help explain why. Here's a chart of all the different types of eukaryotic groups of organisms. I've circled all the groups that would not belong in Kingdom Protista. What is left over is a fascinating and very diverse group of organisms. You have water mold, diatoms, kelp, amoeba, and many more organisms. If you have a eukaryotic organism, and it is not a plant, animal, or fungi, then it is a protist. All protists have the following common characteristics. They are eukaryotic, which means they have a nucleus. They do not contain tissue, and they're located in a moist area. This kingdom is so diverse that protists are found everywhere on Earth, and scientists have subgrouped it into protists that are plant-like, such as algae, animal-like, such as paramecium, and fungi-like, like this slime mold. I'd like to review two characteristics to help you get an understanding of the diversity of this kingdom. First, let's look at movement. Some protists move using tiny hairs called cilia. For example, paramecium move this way. Other protists move by oozing along. They move using a pseudopod or false foot. For example, an amoeba moves this way. Euglena are protists that move using a flagellum. And then some protists don't move at all. And diatoms just kind of float along. Secondly, let's look at reproduction. Some protists reproduce asexually.
The virus only can do reproductions. Only this basic of life.
Amoeba, algae, and many other protists use binary fission to reproduce. Slime molds reproduce using spores, which is a type of asexual reproduction. Others reproduce by budding. Take a look at this protist. It reproduces by budding. Other protists reproduce sexually. Paramecium reproduce using conjugation. And then some protists reproduce both sexually and asexually. A paramecium is an example. In summary, if you have an organism...
Okay. Thank you. Now, if you have any questions, you can put. Muhammad Hassan.
Yes, Mister.
You have anything, Muhammad Hassan? Everything good?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I will choose other students. I will open. Okay, page 43. Page 43, I will choose a student to answer the questions. Hatim Fadi. Hatim Fadi. Hatim.
Yes.
Number 1, read number 1.
Okay. Animals with backbone are vertebrate.
Vertebrate, yes. Excellent. Excellent. Hatim, thank you. I need now Malik.
Yes, teacher.
Malik, number 2. Number 2.
How would you classify a multicellular organism that has cell wall but not chlorophyll?
Yes.
Fungi.
You can put here, you can put in the first here, not a plant. Here put not a plant. Here not an animal. The second not an animal. Not a plant, not an animal. Yes, not a plant. Yes, the bottom, no chlorophyll. No chlorophyll in this square, no chlorophyll. Here has cell walls. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, yes. Critical thinking here. I will choose new students. Yasin Samah. Yasin Samah. Yasin.
Yes, Mister.
Read a computer virus.
A computer virus is a program that takes over your computer. How is computer virus similar to a virus that infects cells?
Yes. If you have any idea, you can answer. Okay, don't worry. I will tell you the answer. Right, if you want. Right. A virus that infects cells. A virus that infects cells takes over the cell's activity. Takes over the cell's activity. Just as a computer virus. Just as computer virus takes over the computer's activity. You lose the control. Yeah? I will repeat. A virus that infects cells takes over the cell's activity, just as a computer virus takes over the computer's activities. Number 4. Number 4, مؤيد. Number 4. Number 4, مؤيد.
Okay, Mr. Which kingdom contains some organisms that resemble plants and others that resemble animals?
Yes. What?
To me, I think it's fungi because it resembles both plants and animals.
Number 4.
Fungi.
Protists.
Protists.
Protest. Number 4. Protest. Okay.
I thought they were both similar. They both had this.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, thank you. Ahmed Al-Moor. Ahmed Al-Moor. Ahmed Al-Moor. Ahmed Al-Moor.
Yes.
Yes, number 5.
Which classified as vertebrate?
Vertebrate, yes.
Great. An insect?
Bird.
Bird, okay.
Bird, yes.
So yeah, I was getting a package.
Okay, thank you. Now we have finished our lessons. And the next lesson we will move to the lesson 3. All living things are classified into 6 kingdoms. We talk about this point. The animal kingdoms divided into vertebrate and invertebrate. Organism in the plant kingdom and the fungus kingdom have cell walls surrounding their cells. With highlight, if you wish, bacteria are unicellular. Protists are unicellular or multicellular. Organisms, viruses are not alive. Not alive. Organisms, viruses are not alive. Number 6, how are living things similar and different? How are living things similar and different? All living things are made of cells. All living things are made of cells. However, living things are also different. They differ in size, structure, and how they obtain food. Thank you so much, my sons. Time's up. So sorry. Thank you.